Here's someone McGregor never would have thought of taking on in his comeback fight. Apparently, YouTube star KSI has shown interest in going up against the Irishman. His buddy Jake Paul was also interested in fighting McGregor, but that fight didn't happen, and we don't think it will happen in the future either. But McGregor versus KSI sounds interesting. Keep watching this video to get the full scoop. First up, KSI is open to a fight with McGregor. KSI recently appeared in an interview with MMA Hour. He was talking with Ariel Helwani when he recalled an incident a little while back. As you may remember, the YouTuber got into a small but heated Twitter feud with the Notorious, and the whole thing led to McGregor calling KSI a little nerd. KSI says that after taking on Jake Paul, it would be nice for him to take on the King himself. Well, is the King himself interested in fighting KSI too? No one knows yet. KSI said he believes in himself so much and thinks he can take on anyone. Good luck to you, KSI. Later in the interview, JJ was pretty happy that McGregor noticed him on social media. It looks like he wasn't unhappy about the comment McGregor made about him. Also, this isn't the first time that he has tried to initiate a fight with McGregor. He tried back in 2022 as well to make the fight happen and said that it would be the perfect opportunity for him to fight the Notorious One after he takes on Jake Paul. His fight with Jake Paul isn't yet confirmed, let alone a fight against McGregor. Paul and KSI have exchanged words on social media, but nothing's concrete yet about when the fight will happen. With all being said, JJ is keen to take on McGregor. Do you guys see it happening? Up next, KSI's boxing career so far. KSI has shown interest in a fight against McGregor, so it's the perfect opportunity for us to look at his professional boxing career. Let's find out how good he actually is. He has only fought 3 times in his professional boxing career. Although he has a 100% record so far, just 3 fights aren't enough to say that he can be a favorite against McGregor, or if he's even a great boxer. KSI made his boxing debut in 2018. He took on Joe Weller, who's also a YouTuber. It was an easy fight for him, as he won in the 3rd round via knockout. It was an amateur bout, which he won easily. He then faced Logan Paul in a 6-round amateur match, ending in a boring draw. Both of them faced again in a rematch, but this time it was a professional fight. KSI showed good signs in that fight and won through a split decision after 6 rounds of action. After that win, he took some time off to focus on his music and YouTube career, but he returned to the boxing ring in 2022 and decided to do something special for his fans. He announced a fight against the rapper Swarms. What was so special about that? Well, he also announced that he'll fight twice in one night. He fought Swarms and Alcaraz Pineda that night and miraculously won both matches. Good. Coming up, who will win in McGregor versus KSI? Yes, KSI has shown the world that he's good at boxing and has skills in his bag, but do you guys really think that he can defeat McGregor? Conor is simply on another level. It doesn't matter if he's only done MMA. We think McGregor will beat KSI even if it's a boxing match. KSI has got no chance whatsoever against him. It is the quickest knockout in boxing history. Yeah, both parties will make tons of money, but KSI will be the one who will need a doctor at the end of the night. McGregor has been in the scene for so long. He has loads of experience and has shown us countless times why he's one of the most ruthless fighters. Some people think that KSI can win, but all of them are his fans. No one other than them thinks he'll win. Compared to McGregor's experience, KSI only turned pro 3 or 4 years ago. That experience isn't enough if you want to beat the King. Yeah, he might get his wish to fight him, but the result might be embarrassing. We advise him to steer clear of this one. Finally, will this fight even happen? The ultimate question is whether or not this fight will take place. Unfortunately, the answer from our perspective is no. It is unlikely to happen in the near future. McGregor has been inactive for some time and will likely seek a comeback fight that makes a strong statement. So he'll be looking to take on someone huge in a huge night event. Also, a fight against KSI won't excite Conor one bit. He's not someone who'd like to take on someone with as little experience as KSI. This one isn't happening, guys. Now, moving on to Conor McGregor's comeback. Here are 6 potential opponents the UFC icon could take on, starting with Jorge Masvidal. This one could make the world go crazy. two of the most popular and ruthless athletes in UFC, Masvidal and McGregor, face to face. The aura would be simply insane. The two have lashed out at each other with words many times, but have never stepped into the octagon simultaneously. This one would be one of the biggest fights in the welterweight division. McGregor's already thinking about switching divisions, and who better to take on in the welterweight division than Masvidal? Plus, the viewership this fight would get would be massive. Every UFC fan will be glued to their TV screens for this one, but there's also a downside to this one. You see, Masvidal has lost 3 fights in a row, and on the other hand, McGregor also doesn't have an impressive record in his last 4 fights. He lost 3 of his last 4 fights. So it might be harder for UFC to sell this fight to the fans. If only this fight had occurred 2 or 3 years ago, the story would have been different, but it still has the potential to be a massive bout. Let's see if it happens or not. Moving on to Dustin Poirier. Yes, this one's a possibility again for a 4th time. In no time, this became one of the best and the nastiest rivalries in UFC. Poirier does have the edge in this rivalry over McGregor. Out of the 3 fights, he has won 2, so McGregor might be ready to take him on for the 4th time to even things out between them. Also, in the last fight, McGregor said that he was beating the hell out of Poirier. He also screamed, "It's not over," at Poirier when he was sitting down in the corner with a broken leg. McGregor was so angry that he said he was ready to take this fight outside the octagon, while on the other hand, Poirier has made it clear that he doesn't want to fight him again. But he has one condition that needs to be fulfilled if he were to fight him. He said he'll only fight McGregor for the money. Otherwise, he has no interest. Money won't be a problem if this fight happens, because there will be tons of it involved. Make it happen, UFC. Let's not forget Rafael dos Anjos. The two were set to take on each other back in 2016, but the fight had to be cancelled because dos Anjos suffered an injury. Dos Anjos says he's ready to fight him again if given a chance. He recently said he earned that fight 7 years ago, but broke his foot. He has called out McGregor again and says that he still has a couple of months to recover, and then he'll see him in the octagon. It looks like dos Anjos wants this one so badly. It would be nice if he got his wish. What about Nate Diaz? Diaz is currently a free agent and is out of contract. His last fight in UFC ended in a win when he defeated Tony Ferguson. Recently, there have been some rumors that Diaz might return to the octagon again. These two have taken on each other 2 times before, and both of those fights were one of the biggest fights in UFC history. The rivalry is currently tied at 1-1, so a 3rd fight must settle this once and for all. And this one might be even bigger than the previous 2. Next up, Paddy Pimblett. Pimblett has taken the UFC by storm and has evolved into a great fighter. There's no doubt about his ability. The Brit looks like a natural fighter in the octagon. The hype would create if a fight between the two is scheduled. The pre-fight press events and the face-offs will be nothing short of entertaining, and this could lead up to a massive amount of sales at the box office, and it could be the start of another special rivalry in UFC. It's all up to UFC and the fighters themselves. Let's see what happens. Last but not least, Michael Chandler. This is the fight that excites us the most, and this is the one we want to see the most. Chandler made the switch from Bellator MMA to UFC in 2021. He left Bellator as the 3-time lightweight champion, and his presence in UFC is amazing. He has gained an even bigger fan base since stepping into the octagon for the first time than in Bellator MMA. He's a violent fighter, and so is McGregor, and Chandler deserves to take on someone like McGregor. This fight could do him a huge favor in boosting his presence in UFC. Chandler has said that he and McGregor are 2 of the biggest fighters right now, and everyone, including UFC and McGregor's team, knows this for a fact. This one needs to happen, guys. This one has the potential to be a huge one. Just imagine these two in the octagon. Goosebumps already? We feel the same way. That's a wrap for this video. Who do you think will win if KSI versus McGregor were to happen? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.